Today I'm reviewing a 2016 Subaru Crosstrek, which is a compact crossover SUV that was introduced in 2013 as the XV Crosstrek, but lost the XV designation after the 2015 model year, simply becoming the Crosstrek moving forward. We also got an all-new second generation of the Crosstrek for 2018. The Crosstrek is essentially a lifted version of the Impreza hatchback. It's got an additional 2.9 inches of ground clearance for a total of 8.7. Comparing that with the Toyota FJ Cruiser, which only has 9.6 inches, it's not all that bad. And combined with Subaru's standard symmetrical all-wheel drive system, it's actually a very capable vehicle for its size and segment. I also love the styling that we get with the Crosstrek. It's got a very sporty look to it because it's based off of that Impreza model. You have to make a few minor design tweaks to give it that more rugged SUV appearance. They look very nice in the Crosstrek form. Likewise, I feel like the overall dimensions of this vehicle and a few of the design cues really lend itself better to an SUV than a hatchback. Starting up here on the front of the vehicle, it's got a really nice front fascia design. On the hood, we've got two simple creases on either side, and the headlights are bulging out from the bodywork. Got a nice simple grille design with some chrome, and then fog lights down in the lower bumper. With the naming change in 2016, we also get a minor refresh to the Crosstrek, so there's a few minor changes to the exterior as well as the interior when compared with earlier models. These little chrome strips that we get on either side are one of those minor changes that we see for 2016. Now, compared with the Impreza model, we also get a revised front bumper here with this black plastic on the bottom. Gives it a more rugged look, and it also offers a more scratch resistant surface. Likewise, on the side of the vehicle, we've got these black plastic fender flares. These are designed to protect the paint if you're off on a trail and you're brushing against grasses or bushes. And then that black plastic is carried along the bottom of the vehicle. And we've also got these integrated mud flaps. Now, with the 2016 refresh, we also get a revised wheel design. This is also one of the changes that you get from that Impreza model. So it's got this mix of brushed aluminum and black, giving it that more rugged appearance. And then again, in 2016, it changes slightly. One of the design cues that I think looks a lot better on the Crosstrek than the Impreza is these large square mirrors. I feel like they look a little bit funny on the Impreza, but because this is an SUV, I think they're just fine. And of course, they're very practical because they really help with visibility. Side profile of the vehicle, it's got a really sporty look to it, some really nice clean lines. You'll see we've also got integrated side rails up top so you can attach a rack to the vehicle. Very handy for many Subaru owners as they tend to be outdoorsy people. And then pretty dramatically sloping roof line here as well. The Crosstrek actually shares a lot in common with the Subaru Forester. Generally, I feel like if you're looking for a more stylish vehicle, the Crosstrek is the way to go. If you want better practicality, then the Forester would be the way to go. One of the reasons for that is as this roof line slopes down, kind of cuts into this rear cargo area. So it looks really good on the exterior, and in terms of styling, I think that the Crosstrek is way better looking than the Forester, but again, with practicality in mind, the Forester does win out. Now on the back of the vehicle here, this is again one of those areas where I feel like the Crosstrek looks better than the Impreza. It's got these large square tail lights that are bulging out from the body. I think that they, again, look better in SUV form than on a car. Likewise, this rear bumper has a very square, boxy look to it. And again, I think it looks very good on an SUV, looks a little out of place on a hatchback. You also see we've got these reflectors on either side to help with visibility. Got our backup camera here, rear wiper, third brake light, and an antenna up top. So all around, I really love the styling that you get on the Crosstrek. I think what's really great about this vehicle is that it's very fuel efficient, it's easy to drive, it's affordable, and it's fairly capable as well. And yet, you know, it's still got this really rugged, big SUV look to it. Looking inside the Crosstrek, you'll see it's got a pretty nice interior, really nice layout, and pretty good quality materials for this price point. You'll see we've got some touches of brushed aluminum throughout. and then the dashboard is kind of a softer rubber. I mentioned that we get a few minor updates for 2016. These seats are revised with a new fabric. You'll see on this model it's got the orange stitching. Likewise, the steering wheel's revised, leather wrapped with orange stitching, and this tri-spoke at the bottom is updated. Likewise, the buttons on either side are updated, and then the center infotainment system sees a slight update. Get the chrome wraparounds on the vents and the leather stitching on the gear shifter. We've got power windows, power door locks, and power heated mirrors, some storage space, as well as a cup holder in the driver and front passenger door, and then the pull for our fuel tank down on the floorboard. Left hand side of the steering wheel, we've got controls for a number of vehicle settings, Bluetooth and audio, and then cruise control on the right hand side. Also got paddle shifters back behind with the automatic transmission. Instrument cluster's got a nice clean look to it with our tachometer on the left, speedometer on the right, as well as fuel economy information in the bottom right. Center LCD screen has our odometer and fuel gauge. Also got an LCD screen in the center dash here with temperature readout, fuel economy information, and a clock. Center screen here is touch sensitive. So for example, we can go to audio here. Source, we've got a number of audio controls, AM, FM radio, got some apps, CD player, Bluetooth audio, and you can also connect a device using a auxiliary connection or USB connection. You'll see we've got, again, some of the apps on the vehicle, Bluetooth, and so you can import contacts, place calls through the vehicle, and then we can also control a number of vehicle settings through this screen. Below that, we've got climate control with heat and air conditioning. Storage space down below that with a 12-volt outlet. This model is equipped with the automatic transmission, so we've got our gear shifter, emergency brake, a little bit of storage space, 2 cup holders, and then heated seats for the driver and front passenger. Center armrest here opens up. Got our auxiliary connection, USB connection, and a 12-volt outlet. Up above, we've got a self-dimming rearview mirror and a couple of reading lights. The rear seat of the Crosstrek is extremely spacious. We've got a ton of legroom, plenty of head and shoulder room as well. Both doors have an integrated cup holder. And then these seats fold down in a 60-40 split. Pull this lever, and you'll see that the seat backs have this little plastic covering on them. Makes them easy to clean. Coming around to the rear of the Crosstrek, if we open up the rear hatch, you'll see it's got a pretty good amount of rear cargo area. The design of this sloping rear end does cut down on it a little bit, but it's still fairly adequate. Also got this built-in light on the driver's side. And then of course, again, because those seats can fold down in the rear, helps to further increase that rear cargo area when they're not in use. This Crosstrek's got a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 148 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to either an automatic transmission for 25 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway, or a 5-speed manual, which sees 23 miles per gallon in the city and 29 miles per gallon on the highway. With this engine setup, you'll see a 0 to 60 time of just over 8 seconds. They also offered the Crosstrek with a hybrid powertrain. With that powertrain, you get the same 2-liter 4-cylinder, but it's paired to an electric motor with 13 horsepower and 48 pound-feet of torque, giving you a combined power rating of 161 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque. That improves the EPA rating to 29 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway, but that battery pack and motor add an additional 415 pounds of weight, so 0 to 60 time drops to about 10 seconds. Well, with only 148 horsepower, it definitely feels a little bit underpowered at times when you're, accelerating hard or going up a big hill. You can feel it struggling a little bit, but the trade-off for that is that you do get really good fuel economy. And certainly if you're looking for a powerful SUV, there are a lot of great options out there. In some ways, I like that about the Crosstrek, that yeah, it's not real powerful, it's not real quick, but the trade-off is that you still have a pretty capable vehicle and it gets really good fuel economy. Another thing that I really love about the Crosstrek is that because it's got that symmetrical all-wheel drive system, the handling is excellent. It feels very planted, not only in inclement weather, if you're on wet roads or snow or ice, this vehicle handles incredibly well. But even driving on dry pavement, it just has this really planted feel to it. It's got a really great confidence going around the corners, and that handling makes it a pretty fun vehicle to drive as well. The other thing that I will say I'm not real crazy about with the Crosstrek is because it's based off of the Impreza, which is an entry-level Subaru, In some ways it does feel a little bit cheaper. When you're driving at higher speeds, you know, the vehicle has kind of a rickety feel to it. Likewise, you get a lot of wind noise coming into the cabin, and it just shows some of those roots of being kind of that entry-level vehicle. But again, it is very affordable, so in some ways you can kind of tolerate that. Now we'll do a quick acceleration test here when the light turns green. So you can see there's a little bit of a delay from that CVT, and then it's very rev happy. A lot of engine noise coming into the cabin. At 60 miles an hour. Now it's not pushing down all the way, but just about. I don't want to push the vehicle too hard. So you can see definitely struggles a little bit there. A lot of noise coming into the cabin. A little bit of a delay with that transmission. But again, the trade-off is that it still has 8.6 inches of ground clearance. It's got the symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and you're still going to get 25 in the city and 32 on the highway. So that's a look at the first generation model of the Subaru Crosstrek. This is a vehicle that I would highly recommend for many reasons. It's a great looking vehicle on the exterior, very sporty, very rugged looking. Likewise, inside, it's got a great interior. It's fun to drive. It's fuel efficient. It's very capable in inclement weather with that all-wheel drive system. And then Subarus also have a great reputation for long-term reliability and some of the best resale value out there. If you have any comments or questions on the Crosstrek, leave them in the section below. For more car reviews, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.